What's up YouTube, and welcome to the latest episode of The Layup.Line. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. I post NBA content at least twice a week, and I'm getting close to hitting my first 100 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate if you could help me hit that milestone. You can also support the social media pages for the occasional look into a new video that I'm working on, or just to catch me live tweeting a game I'm watching. In today's video though, we're going to be talking about the Lakers and taking a look into how worried fans should be about these past few games.
You know what time it is? It's about to be that time.
AP, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Sensations thinking they know the game of basketball, they would then have to admit that they don't know basketball.
My first video on this channel was about the Lakers, and if you follow me on social media, you can probably tell that I'm a LeBron fan. Last year's Lakers run was really what motivated me to finally put myself out there and make this channel. Like most sports fans, I'm living and dying with the team, and that's why I'm making this video. I originally wanted to wait to get this Lakers rant off my chest on my next power rankings video, but after that loss to the Jazz, I just couldn't wait any longer. I'm scripting out this rant as well because I wanted to get some stuff off my chest, but I still want to be reasonable and provide some context. For starters, the Lakers are coming off the shortest offseason in NBA history, and although they've been largely unaffected by the league's health and safety protocol, they've recently lost Schröder from the rotation because he was ruled out for contact tracing. Lakers are also without all-star big man Anthony Davis, who was sidelined with an injury. So with just those things in mind, a 4-game losing streak is not the end of the world given the impressive 22-11 record. I'm going to be diving into the stats on what's going wrong with the past few games, but ultimately when it comes to the playoffs, if LA is at full health, opposing coaches won't be going back at tape of this losing streak because it won't be instructive on how the team plays and looks when they're at full strength. Steve Nash won't be pouring over tape of how the Nets won recently because if these teams were to match up in the finals, it would be more helpful to watch film of the Lakers at full strength. Now, with all of that context out of the way, the Lakers have still sucked. There's been quite a lack of energy, the offense has gone stagnant, and there's quitting on defensive rotations. There's blame to go around because the whole team and coaching staff are guilty here, but as the leaders of this team, Coach Vogel and LeBron are taking hits, particularly for the offense, so let's get into that. In the 5 games since Anthony Davis went out, the Lakers have a 104 offensive rating. This isn't a season where the offensive numbers are at record highs, and LA is still barely squeaking over 100 points. In 3 of the 5 games, they didn't even break 100 points at all. One of those games was against the Brooklyn Nets, and it's been widely discussed how bad of a defensive team the Nets are. Like most LeBron teams, LA doesn't really run a specific offensive system, and the identity of the team on that side of the ball is heavily reliant on James to create for himself and others. On the season, the team's rebounding and assist rate go up with James on the floor, and the offensive rating is higher as well. The non-LeBron minutes were much better than past years, but that's in part due to Dennis Schröder being around. When LeBron hits the bench, Dennis is the only other ball handler, and he gets the freedom to run the show. An absence definitely makes the heart grow fonder because there were times when I thought the offense was getting stagnant with Dennis taking too many dribbles before deciding on a move. I am now begging for his return because outside of LeBron James, the team has no one that you can trust for consistent dribble penetration. The Lakers need to be able to attack the rim because this forces help and puts teams in rotations and simplifies the roles for guys like KCP and Wesley Matthews. Since the team has gone stale and resorted to isolations and post-up, the offense isn't attracting as much help, and with LeBron on a cold streak from distance, there just kinda isn't any offense going at all. Fans are also getting upset with the Lakers players complaining about foul calls, but they kind of have a case here as well. During these 5 games, they're averaging 18 free throw attempts, and LeBron is down to 4 a game. They generally look like a team that needs a break, and this is true for most teams. The reality is that almost every other team had to deal with issues in their season because of injury or contact tracing, and right now it just seems like it's the Lakers' turn. In an effort to keep this video shorter, I'm only going to touch on a few of the Lakers guys specifically before I end this. First, our main shooters are Wesley Matthews and KCP. Both guys are in slumps right now. Over these 5 games, KCP averages 33% on 5 threes, and Matthews has a worse percentage of 22 on 4 attempts. LeBron is taking the most threes, and he hits 18% on 6 a game over this stretch, which has put a huge dent in the career 40% that he was averaging before. If the 3 of these guys get back to their career percentages, there is hope that the driving lanes might actually open up and stop all the damn isolations. 2 other guys to touch on here are the Lakers' big guys. Marc Gasol has had me conflicted all season. His ability to pass has allowed LeBron to get off ball more, and players know to move and cut when Gasol has the ball in his hands. His 3-point shooting does give the team some space, and he's burning bigs often enough when they do drop too low. His issues are glaring too. He's never had great foot speed, and with age, the blow-bys are too frequent, and he's unable to contest shots with verticality. Marc's value as a defender has always been his high IQ and positioning, but that's only so helpful when you're unable to beat defenders to the spot anymore. He still has a spot on the team though, but I think it's as a 2nd or 3rd string center option, or just increase his minutes when we're going up against bigger teams. Moving on to Trez, honestly my biggest issue defensively is that he's undersized, and that isn't as bad when he gets to play next to AD, but with Davis out, teams are getting whatever they want at the rim. The lob pass is almost always open when either of our bigs get put in a pick and roll, and when our point of attack defenders get beat. Even if Trez is on time, he sometimes just doesn't have the length to contest well enough. Offensively, he's doing Montrez things, taking advantage of mismatches in the post, getting putbacks and offensive boards, and playing with a lot of energy. Judging from the eye test, his push shot floater has virtually never missed, but he's still giving up too many points on the other end, and it's still difficult to win games in the modern NBA trading 2s for 3s. Lastly, before I end this video, I'm just going to take a victory lap on how good Kyle Kuzma has been this season. He gets a lot of hate on social media because the guy definitely was overrated early on in his career, being compared to guys like Jason Tatum and Brandon Ingram, but he's quietly found his role as a 2-way forward that plays with a lot of energy. The ball can still stick in his hands at times, and if he goes too many possessions without a touch, he's liable to throw up a bad shot. But when I think about a few years ago when Luke Walton started the 2019 season by testing Kuzma out as a small ball 5, and how quickly that experiment had to get shut down because of Kuzma's defense, I am now jumping with joy as I watch Kyle Kuzma make multiple efforts and winning plays on the other side of the ball. The 3-point percentage for him has risen as well, and he's certainly worth the extension the Lakers gave him in the offseason. My final takeaways are that LeBron has lost some strength in his MVP case, but I ultimately don't care too much about that because I want the team to be healthy when it matters. I feel like there are still some tweaks that we can be making combined with better effort in order to win games in the short term without Anthony Davis, but that's just my opinion. Leave a like if you learned something new, if you like what I do. Like I said earlier, I do NBA videos at least twice a week. Next week I will start on my updated power rankings, so subscribe to get notified about that. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.